I don't even know if this thing's on or not. Oh man, I hope I don't have a repeat of last night where I'm doing like delay pedal stuff. Well, hello. Night 2 of carving Samwise, but for all of you watching, this will just be my first live stream ever. Okay. So if any of you want to join me and leave some comments. I'm not even holding this right. I look insane on the camera, by the way. Oh man. Hello. There we go. I'm going to figure out this setup. I really am. This is the 4th time I've done this, and yet none of them have worked out at all. The first night, Frodo Part 1, I just didn't even have sound. I don't even know what happened. Frodo Night Part 2, I didn't have a camera. And Frodo Night Part 3 was my best one. But the volume was very low. And also I was playing Vivaldi music and it was kind of loud in the background, and I got blocked in Belarus and Russia. It seems as though most music on YouTube gets blocked in Belarus and Russia, which is sad, because whatever side you're on with the Russia-Ukraine war, I mean, regular people don't have anything to do with any of this, you know. And for them to not be able to enjoy some Vivaldi mandolin concerto, I mean, that's just a crime. They didn't ask to invade a sovereign country, right? I'm going to keep the politics out of this, though, because it's not that kind of thing. I was doing political cartoons earlier in the year. I had a run of political cartoons. Maybe I'll do some live chats where I do political cartoons. That could be very terrible and very interesting, but hey. As grateful as I am to have 1,000 subscribers, you know, who cares? I mean, I care that all of you who subscribed watch my channel, but I mean, I'm not, in the realm of caring about how crazy or controversial the things I say are. Doesn't really matter. Besides, I'm in the free speech movement, so I don't think I'm going to get fired from my day job if I say anything crazy. I'll say, hey, that's First Amendment rights. They'll say, First Amendment rights against the government, you know. Private employers can fire you at will because we don't like you. It's like, didn't think about that. So if any of you guys are public sector employees and you're getting thrown out for what you said, let me know, because I might be able to help you. But that has nothing to do with this. I am carving Samwise Gamgee. I've got a few shorts out there on my YouTube channel. I carved and printed the Frodo block first, and I drew the Sam block, and as you can see, I drew it and transferred it to this piece of linoleum, and I got a good solid 43 minutes of carving in, plus or minus whatever time I've spent on this video. Such a shame. I was having a good time last night, and nobody will ever know. Well, I did make a short this afternoon. Well, I mean, it got posted this afternoon. That was talking about Jeff Goldblum and watching Death Wish, which I did, by the way. I watched Death Wish last night, the third one. And I just like movies from the 70s because they were more willing to take risks. I don't know. I mean, you don't see people doing the crazy stuff that they did back then. And everything was kind of low budget too. That helped. I could go on some sort of boomer rant about how everything's a remake or everything's a superhero movie, but it's been done, and it's been done by better people than me, so I'm not going to do that. Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, that was one of the few things that wasn't a total letdown. Because, when people try and do a book or do a comic book or what have you and make it a film, the diehard fans always say, I can't believe you left out this part. What was the thing that they're always saying about Lord of the Rings still, even after, he did a fantastic job with it? God, I forget the guy, Tom Bombadil? Yeah. He wasn't in the movies, right? And I probably pronounced that guy's name wrong, so you can let me know. Just like I pronounced the big spider. And I know people are going to, it's not a spider. It was an arachnid something. It's like, okay. I like Lord of the Rings. I'm not like people who watch the series, they like Lord of the Rings, right? I like Lord of the Rings too. I'm a fan. I've actually, you could kind of tell behind me. Actually, that one right there. Which way am I pointing? That one. Yeah, that one sells a lot on Etsy. I tried to do a medieval woodcut of the Halls of Moria where Gandalf's fighting the Balrog in a medieval style right there. I got a few other ones. That one is the potatoes scene. And I wrote the line, potatoes, stick 'em, mash 'em in a stew, whatever Sam says to Schmeagol, Gollum. So yeah, it's so weird how it happened too, because when Lord of the Rings came out, I was in high school. I think I was a freshman in high school when the Fellowship came out. And then maybe I was a junior, so it was like 2003, 2004, 2005, the three movies came out. And yeah, so Lord of the Rings kind of, I'm not going to say defined high school for me, but I mean, it was there. It was always there in the background. I'd watch it a decent amount. It was very exciting. Very exciting stuff. I had a point to all that, but now I don't remember. It doesn't really matter because I think I'm just talking to myself at this point, and I'm used to that. That's okay. I'm not like a Tim Dillon or a Bill Burr where I can just riff and monologue and be entertaining for an hour by myself. It would be nice to have someone to give me stuff to talk about, but like I'm saying, yeah, Lord of the Rings came out when I was in high school. And I really haven't watched it. There was many years that I didn't watch it, and I read the books back in high school, and I didn't. I got to be careful with this. I don't want to gouge myself in the eye. That would make for a short episode here. So yeah, all of my Lord of the Rings exposure was in high school, and then I didn't think about it for a long time. And then for whatever reason, like 20 years later, my wife, who, we got together like just after high school. I was 19, she was 19. So there's a lot of years we were together, and we never watched Lord of the Rings. She never watched Lord of the Rings. And then I think it was a couple of years ago. I guess it was 2024. That's when I started carving all these Lord of the Rings prints. And she was saying, okay, I think I'm ready to watch these movies now. And we did. And I think she liked them. I think she did. And that was right around the time that I started getting into. I had been carving prints for a little bit at that point, but kind of on and off. I'd get into it for a couple of months and then I wouldn't carve anything for a long time. But it was right around that time I was really getting into like Albrecht Dürer, who's a famous woodcut artist. If you guys know anything about art history, and I thought, oh, wouldn't that be cool if I did like pop culture stuff? But I did it in a medieval way. And I mean, what's more obvious than doing Lord of the Rings? I mean, I guess Game of Thrones was kind of big a few years ago, but I didn't watch any of that. I don't watch that stuff. So I thought I'm just gonna do a bunch of Lord of the Rings prints in a medieval Albrecht Dürer kind of style, or at least as good as I can do, because that guy's a monster. He is so crazy good. I had the privilege of happening upon some of his prints. I was at the Cleveland Museum of Art because I live in the area, and there was this little printmaking exhibit, and I was just, I that's what I'm into. I mean, the oil paintings and everything, they're all very grand and awe-inspiring and everything, but I used to paint a little bit, but I'm not really a painter. I'm, an illustrator. Everything I do is black and white. I like drawing with pen and then, doing printmaking from that. So I was always really into Italio and etching and woodcut and even the Japanese woodblock stuff. I mean, really what got me into all this was David Bull he's on YouTube. He's got this studio called Mocha Hongan. He's either a Canadian guy or an American guy, but he lives in Japan, and he would do these woodblock carvings. He'd do these reproductions of Meiji era woodblock art from Japan. And I was just like, I was doing silk screening at that point, and I thought, well, I mean, this gets the job done, but it's not very exciting. It's very much a process. It's not, you're like a technician, it's not really like, you're not really an artisan or a craftsman. And, I hope no silk screen guys get offended by that, but I mean, it really is more of a scientific, kind of, I don't even know what you call it, but I mean, when you're a woodblock carver, that's like an artistic trade. I mean, even if you don't know how to draw, and I don't think he knows how to draw, this guy. But man, watching him is just, it was enough to get me into this, I'll tell you that, because I'd never done, I mean, maybe once or twice in school, but I wasn't even really like thinking about it. It was just like, I started out as an art major. That didn't last very long at the school I went to. And I took printmaking the very last semester before I switched my majors. So I really wasn't taking it very seriously. And I really wish I did, because if I was still into art, maybe printmaking would have been the thing that kept me going. But I was kind of far gone at that point. I was just like, I was very jaded. I'm like, I'm getting an art degree. What's the point? Who cares? Unless you want to be a teacher or professor. I mean, if you can do it and sell it, then you don't need to be credentialed. I'm sure people would disagree with me, but I mean, that's just the way I saw it. So I'm like, I better get credentialed in something that, you can't just show up and say, oh, I can do this, let me show you. And it's like, yeah, okay. You don't, there's still, college degrees aren't worth what they used to be, that's for sure. But I mean, there's still some credential culture that exists. 15 minutes and I've been talking about nothing. Anybody on the chat? I'm too scared to even put this thing up on my computer because I don't want the delayed sound to bleed in, so I'm just checking my phone now. Because I'm freaking out. What do you think? I know, it's very exciting to watch someone checking their phone, right? Come on. Yeah, I don't think anyone's on here, so it's okay. You know what? Maybe that's okay. You know what I like about live streams more than anything else? There's a couple of things. Number one, forces me to have to think on my feet because I'm not going to edit any of this out. I mean, maybe I'll do something postscript and, upload some clips or whatever. And I did. I did some shorts, but, my goal is to keep the whole live stream up for people to see, warts and all. And, I don't know, something about that I like. I mean, it could be a real liability, but I used to do videos last year that were basically a live stream, but I'd just upload the whole thing in its entirety. And then slowly over time, I just started hacking away at it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to take this section out. It's boring. Or, and it would go from like an hour-long thing that was basically just a live stream to where it was like 20 minutes. And I took all those down because I was still learning how to do this. And I mean, it's pretty obvious I still don't know what I'm doing, but with the YouTube, I hope I know a little bit about printmaking and drawing and stuff. But yeah, YouTube's totally new. So I got into it in earnest like last April, actually. And then I just stopped. I think it was like around the end of May or maybe early June. I was like going gung-ho. I was putting out new episodes twice a week, 3 times a week. But I just didn't know what I was doing, and I was getting disappointed by the numbers, and I just thought, this isn't right. I like this, but I also don't want to waste my time doing this for hours a day and seeing like, 30 views. So I just stopped. I think I was still carving stuff in the summer, but I just kind of stopped doing videos. I don't really think I ended up doing videos again, maybe like 1 or 2 sporadically, but I didn't start doing videos again until I started doing political cartoons at the very, very end of last year, like in December. And then for whatever reason, maybe it was like a New Year's resolution or something, I just said, I'm going to try again. And that's when I started up that guitarist series where I drew 50 guitarists and I made videos about little mini documentaries about them. And that poster is also for sale on my Etsy. I know that no one likes self-promotion, but I don't have any sponsors and I'm not even monetized, so I gotta get it where I can, guys. So, like, this is the first time that I've really, really tried to do YouTube. And, yeah, I'm very grateful for the people who've given me a chance because, I mean, I'm kind of a snob when it comes to YouTube. I usually only watch, like, big-name people. And, for people to even care about a 200 subscriber channel, 300 subscriber, eventually I got a little better, but I mean, just, yeah, if you're like sub 50,000, I mean, it's kind of like, is this guy even worth anything? There are some diamonds in the rough. I've found them. It's like, wow, I mean, this guy should be huge. This lady should be huge, but she's not. There's also the niche aspect to it too, right? Because, I mean, it helps a little bit that I do pop culture stuff. The artwork is, the subject matter is pop culture, but, you know, I don't think you can really blow up as a relief printmaking channel. I mean, Dave Bull's the exception. There's a couple other guys who produce these amazing, amazing videos, like really like amazing cinematography. I'm gonna butcher this guy's name, Emil Samins. Yeah, I mean, shout out to that guy. He makes beautiful videos. And another guy named Emil. Must be an Emil thing, but I think one guy's like Estonian, and I think the other guy's Danish or something. There's these two guys who are kind of. One does like kind of reinvented Japanese woodblock kind of style things, and the other guy does these weird gothic like metal things. And my artwork doesn't look anything like either of them, but they were a huge inspiration for me to like, oh, you can actually make relief printmaking videos on YouTube and make them really cool. But I don't think that's going to be what I do on this channel. I think what I do on this channel is I'm going to go all in on the live stream because it takes a long, long time to edit videos. And you can see on my channel, I did a couple edited videos. My whole thing is, I pick a topic and I go all in on that topic for a couple of months and I make a poster about it. And then I tried to produce like a long form video where I discussed everything I learned about the topic while I was drawing and carving this thing. So, I did a video about the presidents because I made this big, you could see it behind me right here. That thing, I drew all the presidents, but that was a few years ago, and that was silk screened. So, yeah, I went through all the presidents' history. That took forever to edit. That was a big, long thing. And, yeah, again, when you see that you only got 100 views from something you worked 3 weeks on, after your regular job and after you took care of your kids, it's not a lot of incentive to spend weeks and weeks and weeks to make a 50-minute super cut edited video with like 1,000 different clips that you had to pull. And I did one on Tarantino. I ranked like most of his movie characters. That was a little bit more fun and a lot more people watched that one, but still, like, in the great scheme of things, just not a lot of views for how much work I put into it. So I'm kind of just hoping you all join me for these live streams and I can turn that into something. Make little clips from the shorts, and I'll keep on, thinking of interesting things to say about each of the Lord of the Rings characters along the way. But I feel more at a disadvantage of this. Like I said, I like Lord of the Rings and everything, but all of the people who watch this, for the most part, know way more about Lord of the Rings than I do. Where, at least with the rock history stuff, I could kind of go toe for toe. I mean, there was definitely people who knew more about rock guitarists than I did, but I felt like I could fake it a little better. If someone calls me out on Lord of the Rings, it's like, yeah, man, I don't know. Sorry. Like I said, I'm into it. I'm a fan, but I'm not a... How do you separate a fan from a super fan? I don't know. I got nothing. So I know enough to be dangerous, I guess, but when I get into the real circles of nerdery, I mean, it's they can smell me a mile away. They're just like, oh, this guy's a imposter, and it's like, yeah, I am. But I mean, I think it's good to stretch out a little bit and try and learn things that you don't know much about. Like even with the guitarist series that I was doing, I was learning a lot of stuff about people I thought I knew about. So I think after this Lord of the Rings thing, and I have no idea how many of these characters I'm going to do. I'm probably going to do, probably at least 20. That's a lot of carving too. I mean, I think at a leisurely pace here. I think I'm going to do a character a week, right? I draw them and I carve them a few nights, and then I print them and make some videos about them. So, I mean, 20 weeks. I mean, you're thinking about, like, am I going to do this for 6 months? So 20 characters. I mean, it's maybe 5 months, but I mean, that's a lot of time dedicated to one topic. And I guess you guys will let me know from the, the marketplace of YouTube if this is working or not. If you actually watch my stuff. Maybe you'll say, you know what, Doug, you gotta change topic because you don't know anything about this, and the people who do are repulsed by your ignorance. And it's like, fair enough. I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on to a different topic here. I'm thinking about just doing historical figures in general, like not fictitious characters, but like real people, like Genghis Khan or something, and just go through like the history of various people. And my friend, I told him this idea today, and he said, well, you got to do Wyatt Earp. That's got to be your first episode. Or maybe he didn't say first episode, but he's just like, yeah, you definitely have to do an episode on him. And I don't know anything about Wyatt Earp. I know he was like a gunslinger and an outlaw, right? And I know aces and eights is the dead man's hand because my friend told me that, and that was the hand that he died holding when he was playing poker. So I know that. And, I know that generally speaking, all the Wild West guys were, 1870s, 1880s in America, right? It was all post Civil War. All the old gunslingers from the, all the ex-soldiers who were just like, what am I going to do now? I only know how to be a soldier. It's like, oh, we got a job for you, or, not really a job, but you can make money the easy way or the hard way. And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go out west and look for some opportunity. Yeah, Westerns are something that, I don't know a lot about Westerns. I've watched the Fistful of Dollars trilogy, right, with Clint Eastwood. That's about the extent of my knowledge. Really like the movie Young Guns, which people make fun of me for. So weird. I was in college, and I think I showed... I had this weird living situation where they ran out of space for us in the dormitories, so they just put us in the residence director's apartment, and there was like 5 guys plus me, all living in the split between 2 rooms, and we had a bathroom. We had our own private bathroom, so that was great, because otherwise it would have been, the stalls in the dorms. No shower curtains, or what was shower curtain? I don't remember. It wasn't my problem. Didn't matter. But there was 6 of us guys, and if you ever watch the movie Young Guns, there's 6 of those guys, and I don't know how it came about. Maybe we were all sitting around watching this movie. I had the DVD, and I was like really, I don't know. My dad would always watch it on like TBS or wherever it would be on cable. And I was like, oh man, this is like a great movie. Not only is it an action movie, but it's funny. And I know that anyone who has any taste in movies would say, you're such a rube, If you like Young Guns, and you say it's a good movie, you have absolutely no taste in movies. Well, I just told you that Death Wish 3 was my favorite Death Wish movie. So I clearly have no taste in movies. But hey, I like Lord of the Rings. So all of you people out there who are watching this and because you like Lord of the Rings, you got to give me a little bit of credit. Now, if I said Lord of the Rings was terrible, you'd say, oh, well, clearly this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But I was living in this dorm with these 5 other guys, and we all like just started saying, oh, well, you're the most like this guy, and you're the most like this guy. And you'll never guess which one I was. Isn't it funny that the last 2 nights I've been doing this, I've been talking about movies that aren't Lord of the Rings while I've been carving Lord of the Rings. It's all because you guys won't, talk in the comments and give me something to talk about with the Lord of the Rings. I don't have notes or anything. It's not like, oh, I'm going to touch on this topic today. So I'm just, whatever pops into my head I'm just going at it. And, I've been doing this for half an hour. I don't think I've stopped talking. So, oh, hey, I got a comment here. I'm reading The Hobbit right now, but finish it. I'm going to read Lord of the Rings. I've never read The Hobbit. I only read The Lord of the Rings. And again, it was like 20 years ago, so I should probably go back and revisit it for this series. I was really thinking about it because, it would probably help me come up with topics to talk about if no one was in the chat. I probably should, because I've watched the movies enough times. I don't really need to go back and watch them again, but certainly reading the books again, that'd be good. Yeah. The Hobbit movies, okay, so I'm going to admit this. I saw the first Hobbit movie that came out, and I don't even remember what the first Hobbit movie was. The first Hobbit movie was, I think it was just called The Hobbit, right? And then I think the second one was called, like, the Desolation of Smaug. Is that right? It was about the dragon. Maybe that was the third one. You all can let me know. And then there's the third one. And, I mean, I'm not wrong, right? People more or less think, the Hobbit movies were pretty lame in comparison with the Lord of the Rings, right? I'm not making that up. But the book, I think Tolkien wrote The Hobbit before he wrote Lord of the Rings. Am I right? So, just you can't. I'm not holding the movies against Tolkien. I'm sure the books are brilliant, and I probably should give them a shot. I think it was more just the time that I got exposed to Tolkien. Like I said, I got exposed to Tolkien when the movies came out, so it was all Lord of the Rings, and then The Hobbit didn't come out until I think I was married at that point. I don't know, when did The Hobbit come out as a movie? Like 2012 or something? Or 2013. If it was 2013, I was married and I had a job, and it's not to say that you can't go see movies anymore, but I was like less into fantasy stuff at that point. So it's kind of ironic I'm doing this now. I like fantasy. I've always liked fantasy, and my dad, I was really into drawing political cartoons, and for whatever reason, I would always use this kind of medieval, everything was like medieval symbolism in my political cartoons. I'd always be drawing people as knights and wizards and stuff. And my dad, who was, very, very supportive guy, and, he knew a lot about politics and stuff. He was a teacher. He taught social studies. And he was really encouraging of me doing political cartoons. He was always like, Doug, you got to stop this Dungeons and Dragons stuff if you want to actually do political cartoons. But, doing political cartoons, I could have drawn it perfectly. Good luck being a political cartoonist, because it's all based on publishing, right? I actually really, really gave it a pretty decent shot, but I talked to enough people at newspapers, and they're just like, hey, man, it was all these boomer illustrators. They're like, once I'm out, they're done. They're not going to replace me. So once the last of these baby boomer political cartoonists at the regional newspapers is gone, I think that'll be the end of political cartoons. And really, the political cartoon kind of died with the meme, right? It made it much more democratic to, give like your pictorial opinion about current events. And in a lot of cases, memes became way funnier. And for me, I'm a little biased. I think it's way cooler when someone can draw something, but it just got so stale all the same tropes. There's a good YouTube video about this. I wish I could give this guy a shout out, but he's way bigger than me anyway. He doesn't need me to shout him out. And he would say, okay, this is all you need to do to draw a political cartoon. He would just go through all the just overused tropes that political cartoonists would rely on. I mean, if you've ever looked at a political cartoon recently, it's just the most milquetoast, bland, boring stuff. And I went into a rant about this on some other thing I was talking. It was maybe there was a YouTube video on my channel where I was saying I really hate what political cartoons have become because, you know, in the era of Trump, it's all Trump, right? Like, I'm not gonna give my opinion one way or the other because I'm pretty jaded about everything at this point. But like, whether you love or hate the guy at this point, I mean, because God, he just sucks all the energy out of the room. It's just like, can we draw something else besides Donald Trump? Anything else? So yeah, it's really sad to see political cartoons dying before my eyes because I really, really wanted to be a political cartoonist. That seemed like the most obvious path for someone who's interested in art and politics, right? And humor, and, you know, writing. But yeah, I would always draw these Dungeons and Dragons things, as my dad would call them, when I was doing political cartoons. So yeah, I've always been into this kind of fantasy aesthetic. And, you know, Lord of the Rings is like the gold standard as far as that's concerned. Yeah, I was down a YouTube rabbit hole for a long time where I was just watching a bunch of people give their opinions about the lore. It's like, oh, there's this great guy. I think it was like, what's the channel's name? Something Geek in Film. I don't know. You all, I'm sure, as fans of it, I'm sure it's come across your algorithm. It would be like things like Lord of the Rings from Sauron's perspective. I know you all know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you've seen these. And I was really, really into it. And I would just, there was like a solid week there where I think it was the only thing I was watching on YouTube. I just, you know, binge watch these, you know, kind of fan fiction theories on Lord of the Rings. And then I moved on. And then I started watching this old British guy classic album review. And then I got into my guitarist series. So yeah, I'm kind of a scatterbrain. I move on from one thing to the next, as you'll see. So I'm really hoping that all you who may join me for my Lord of the Rings adventure here, you don't leave me when I move on to another topic, because I really appreciate there's some very, very good subscribers who still comment on all my stuff, even though I'm not talking about Jimi Hendrix anymore. And who knows, maybe there's a cross-section like me who likes Lord of the Rings but also likes classic rock. I mean, there's got to be some overlap. I don't think it's totally like, you know, things that are just antithetical to one another. Right? I'm glad to see more people are tuning in. And I think that I don't have any technical problems right now, so that's good. I'll be very curious to see how this looks in the end, and hopefully I can cut up some clips, and hopefully I can do another one of these tomorrow night, Friday night. My nights are always kind of the same, whether it's a work night or a school night or a weekend. I mean, my days are always kind of the same. I'm a man of routine. I'm just doing the broad strokes right now. You see, I'm using this this fill. It's a very fine U-gouge, if you can see. And this isn't naturally the way I work. I usually get way down close to it, like that, so I can really see fine detail. And I actually used to have like a light magnifying glass, like a book lamp magnifying glass that I'd get into some really high detail. But doing the chat like I am right now and doing the live stream, I can't really. It would be very awkward to work in that way. It would make for a lousy video. So I'm just kind of doing the broad strokes right now with this U-gouge, and then I'll probably come back at it. Maybe not even on the camera. Maybe I'll just clean it up off camera with one of these things. I kind of have a hybrid approach to how I go about carving. I turn it like this, like a wood engraver or like an Italio printmaker, which, like a self-respecting woodblock, like Japanese woodblock artists would never do that. You always keep the block stationary and you work around it, but I don't really get that. It seems like a lot of extra effort to me. But I do use one of these things, which is called a hangito, which is the main carving knife the Japanese woodblock artists use. So I like a little bit about what both of them are doing, and I try and blend the styles. Oh, that reminds me, I never finished my Albrecht Dürer story. So I got to the Cleveland Museum of Art, and I was so surprised that there was this, medieval or Renaissance, like right in between the medieval and the Renaissance period of woodblock printmaking, and they had Albrecht Dürer prints. I couldn't even believe it at the Cleveland Museum of Art. I wasn't there for that. I was just there, I don't know. I was just there. Took my kids there on a vacation day or something, and I have all these books, and I've studied his artwork for years at this point, and I didn't have any grasp on what the dimensions were. For whatever reason, I could never find the published dimensions. So it's like, well, okay, all this fine detail. I mean, if it's huge, then it makes it a little bit more attainable, because the bigger something is, the more you can put fine detail in it. But when I saw it up close, I was like, oh man, the lines he was making, it was just impossible. It seemed impossible. And he was doing this 500 years ago. What chance? I have all these modern amenities to help guide me, but yeah, that was really like awe-inspiring. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So for me to like try and riff off of him and do like medieval woodcut style printmaking, yeah, I mean, I'm doing it on linoleum too. I'm not even doing it on wood, though I have done it on wood. A lot of these are wood, actually. This one, where is it? That one right there. That's Saint Michael. That's an Albrecht Dürer reproduction. But again, it's pretty big. Yeah, that's the only way I could get all the detail in. He did it like so small, and it looks even better than the one I did. And he just used one of these. He must have better wood than I do. I don't know. Oh, thank you, Bolivar, P. Bolivar. That's the thing about this channel. Like, I got in, obviously I have an art background, and so I have a somewhat of an inclination for watching these types of programs, but there's I never thought about doing woodblock printmaking or relief printmaking or anything like that, so I wasn't really seeking it out. It came to me. The algorithm chose me. So, if there might be people watching this who, they weren't really looking for a how-to on relief printmaking or anything like that, but maybe they like to watch it just to like to watch it. Again, going back to college, my buddies who were not artists at all, Bob Ross, if you guys know who Bob Ross is, he was like a painter who did like how-to instructional stuff on TV, and it was syndicated. It was like 2:30 in the afternoon on a Friday, and my friends who couldn't draw a stick figure, they would sit there and watch Bob Ross. And it was like, why do you guys, my mom had like all of his VHS tapes because she's an art teacher. So it was obvious to me why she would watch them and why I'd watch them, because you're actually trying to learn like how to do one of his paintings, try and pick up some techniques with the palette knife, how to do gradients or whatever, his specialty was. So I'm like, why are you watching it? And they're just like, it's kind of cool to watch. I'm like, oh, fair enough. Fair enough. So yeah, I said that I was going to try and keep these to about 40, 45, 50 minutes, and I see that we're at 46 minutes. So yeah, I got a little bit more done today, right? Yeah, I got to clean up some details here, though. It's pretty choppy. But I got his head. I'm saving that for last because you can mess up the body a little bit, but if you mess up the head, then it's like, who is this? That's not Sam. So you got to really concentrate on the head. I might not even do that on live stream. Maybe I'll do that on a video that I upload later. But yeah, I think this is going to look medieval when I'm done printing it. But that's it. I think I'm going to come back on tomorrow night around the same time, 9 or 9:30. So if you all want to join me for that, and hey, thanks, honey. I appreciate it. If that's your name on YouTube. I'm not trying to be cute here. So thank you very much. And I will talk to y'all